going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the CheckDown. I'm one of your hosts, Smitty. What's good, certified? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, brother. How y'all doing?
We all right, man. We all right. God damn it, man. You let me down, bro.
What?
And I had prayed for you to get the number one pick.
I mean,
Mm.
it is what it is. Joe Milton actually want to be a tryhard out this motherfucker. So it was what it was. I
So
was
who?
mad. I'm mad at the
Go ahead, my
moment,
bad.
but now I'm good now. So it's all good.
Who got the number one pick?
The Titans do.
Titans.
Ah, yeah, I
Followed by
think
the
they're gonna take a
Browns,
quarterback.
Giants.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
I
The
mean,
Giants. I know the Giants fans got to be sick to go
The
from one
Browns
to
taking a
three.
quarterback.
Oh man.
if
The
it wasn't
Browns.
for us, they'd be sitting at 4 right now. If it wasn't for us, but um, they'll be all right. Like, I don't know. Like, I've heard some Brown fans saying they're gonna take a quarterback. I've heard other Browns saying they're not. But that was obviously before the Deshaun Watson news that dropped that he done ruptured his Achilles for the second time. So I don't.
Yeah.
So if I was them, you at number 2, man, you might as well draft a quarterback, man.
How y'all feel about that, man? Y'all just want. Y'all think they just. I mean,
Yeah,
'cause
something fishy in that
they
water.
making him go away.
I don't know, but I've never heard of a dude rupturing Achilles and then he's rehabbing, he ruptures it again. I don't.
Hold on.
I've
What
never
were
heard of
you
that.
doing? What were you doing? That is strenuous. 3 months after surgery that you ruptured it again.
He must have been trying to rehab when the doctor was probably, because this should be happening to people though. Like, the doctor tell you get the surgery for something, and the doctor tell you don't do nothing for a couple months, but then people be trying to push themselves. So I'm guessing that's what it was. Hopefully,
Mhm.
but like I said, I just don't know how many successful stories you hear about somebody rupturing the same Achilles 2 times in like less than a year. So
Yeah.
shit rough.
But how y'all feeling about these coaching changes, man? You know, it's a lot of people fired. A lot of people need to be hired. JMIK, we already know who one. Your coach is one of the other, man. You only got 2 options.
And my
Yeah.
fan base is putting me through a fucking excruciating situation. Like,
Yeah.
the old niggas want Mike Vrabel, the young niggas want Johnson, and I got niggas in my Patriot group chat that's freaking crashing out because I think it's gonna be Mike Vrabel, even though the niggas ain't hired nobody yet. Like, nigga, how you crashing out when the decision ain't even been fucking made yet? That's a shit that get me.
So
Who they
how would
want?
you feel about Vrabel?
I just don't want Vrabel, honestly. So I've been
You
saying,
want an offensive coach?
yeah, but it's an offensive coach. But it's like, I get it. Like, Mike Vrabel never coached under Belichick, but he coaches
Hmm.
like Belichick. That's just
Yeah.
what he does. And so for me, it's just like, I don't. We had Belichick. We had Mayo, which Mayo was a Belichick disciple. So it's like, why not just start off fresh? Start off in a new direction. And I'm not saying Ben Johnson going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that. But why not just try something different? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, for me, like, an example is like, it's like a nigga that go to an ice cream shop in the summertime and nigga always get vanilla. Like, you going for the 10th time in the summertime, and nigga, like, you didn't have vanilla 9 times. Try chocolate chip. Try pecan or whatever. Just try some other shit, man. Like, that's if it don't work, then it don't work. Fuck it.
Man,
Yeah. I can understand that.
facts. Um, so what about? What about the Raiders? And I know they in a. It's a lot of Aaron Glenn probably going to the Saints.
If I was him, I'd probably go to the Saints, though.
Yeah, I think that's
Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that he will get he'll get a fair shot in New Orleans. It won't be no quick triggers. Because New Orleans, in my opinion, I feel like they
They're
kind of hesitate on firing coaches because I think Dennis Allen is long overdue.
he should have never got the job in the first place, in my opinion.
What y'all think about Spaz? I hear it's a big roar in Jacksonville. They want him.
Man,
Um,
that nigga to lead the Chiefs. That's all.
Huh?
I can see it. I can see him. I mean, it's listen, man. North Turner, Look how many head coaching jobs he got.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve none of them joints, but he felt like he was a head coach. He wanted to prove that he was a head coach. These, I feel like some coaches want to do their own thing, and I think Steve he will get his general manager. He will get the resources. If Steve say he's leaving outside of Ben Johnson, he'll be the most coveted coach on the market. Like he's going to get whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
So
but my
why
thing is,
not?
but why is it like so? If Spags is open to interviewing, then how come everybody not interviewing him though? That's my question.
Because a lot of people,
Oh,
I think a lot of people don't believe he's gonna leave.
Oh, okay.
I
Because I'm
mean
like,
it could be his, his agent can talk. You know what I'm saying? I mean they can. I don't know.
I
I
mean, the only
mean
other thing I can think of is probably what you're saying, sir. Like he done told his agent like what jobs he's willing to put on the table to take. If it ain't those jobs, he's just not interviewing for them. I don't know because it seemed like he should have more interviews. I do believe
the
that.
Jets joint. I don't see him taking that.
man, I would,
Uh,
man. I mean, like,
maybe the Giants.
I mean, for all these dudes, well, the Giants' job not open. They actually keeping him.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm just as far as like, yeah, if he wanted to go back to New York, he's not taking the Jets, dog. That I don't think they're nowhere near contender.
If I'm him, Jacksonville is a sexy job though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's a
You
nice
got
little,
all the pieces, and then you got a top, a top pick. I mean, you got an opportunity to still bring in some more talent. I mean, I think if you could bring in the right coaching staff, Jacksonville is one right move away from being leader of their division at least.
Listen, man. If if he can get that, they got the defensive pieces to be one of the best defenses in the league. They have Etienne, so they can run the ball. If he goes over to Jacksonville and bring in an offensive coordinator that can work with Trevor, maybe they can grow together. And in the meantime, run the ball, play good defense. I mean, that's what Harbaugh doing right now, right?
I think that's what
yeah.
Spaz gonna do as a head coach too.
I mean,
Mhm.
my only thing about the Jacksonville job is, yeah, you got a lot of pieces there, but my only thing is just not a lot of flexibility in terms of money. So it's
Right.
like, so I mean, they don't get me wrong,
Man,
they
you
got
can
some
find the money, dog.
yeah, I mean, they got some cap space. I'm just saying, like right now, like what they're looking like right now, they got cap space. It's not the most in the league, it's not the least, but it's just like, but it's I mean, but it's also like they got a lot of contracts that they've already given out like recently. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like I said, like it's just flexible. Like I'm kind of like you sort of. I don't believe in the salary cap. I don't believe in it.
Yeah,
It's not real to me because you can move money around. I mean, like if the owners want to spend,
yeah.
money, I mean, you can spend it. But yeah, but it's just like the lack of flexibility because you've already signed your quarterback. Certain pieces they've already signed, so you're stuck. You're kind of stuck with those guys right now. And so I mean, if you
Yeah,
don't believe in Trevor, then that might not be a job you want to take.
yeah. Like this. So for me, the salary cap isn't real because the Saints found a way to get under the cap every year for like the last 6 years, and immediately was over the cap within a few minutes. It's not real, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can pay all your players. You can.
You just
If
need to
you
be under
know
the
how
cap.
to,
The
yeah,
cap.
if you know how to juke the numbers, the Saints did it. They held
Yeah,
on to
but
all of their players.
no, there's a few times we had to let players walk. Specifically, if you look at that 2017 draft class, which I think kind of hurt us a lot because we had a lot of contracts come up within a year or two of each other, which is why we had to let Trey walk, which is why we had to make the decision between do we sign Marcus Williams? Do we let him test free agency? Like, what do we do with some of these contracts? And also, it prevents us from kind of acquiring like top, well, not top, but like quality free agent talent. You're kind of stuck because you're always trying to make sure to get the money right. So it kind of like hinders you a bit.
I mean, but I just always going on the rationale that if the owner is willing to write checks, then you can kind of move. I mean, you can kind of, like duck and dive and do what you got to do for plays that you want. That's just the way I've always viewed it.
Yeah.
And it pays to have an owner. Like if you have an owner that wants to win and wants to spend the money, then you're good. If you got a cheap owner, then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah. If I mean, basically, that's if you want to pay to keep your folks together, you can. You can find the money. It's just, does your owner want to do it? And do you want to pay the consequences behind, or the restructuring and shit that you do, so, but you can do it,
It's definitely doable.
Oh yeah.
I just think, like, specifically speaking on Spags, unless Spags, like, it comes out that he's willing to leave, I don't think teams are willing to just, take that reach out. Like, if he contacts them, like, hey, or whatever, but I just don't think teams think he's serious about a head coaching gig.
I mean, my thing is, if you give him, if he takes it, then there's got to be some level of like interest in leaving. I'm not saying it's high or low. Is there?
I mean, they not asking for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, I don't know. He just signed like a 6-year extension with the Chiefs or some shit like that. So it can't be about money.
I mean,
I do think, like, to the point y'all was talking about earlier with the Jazz, it's a nice situation. I just think coaching was the issue. Like,
hey, listen,
because you got the talent specifically on the offensive side of the ball. You can't tell me that's not a talented group they have with that core, with the wide receivers, with the tight end. Like, you might upgrade a piece here or there, but I mean, that's like a solid unit that they have in Jacksonville.
And they just got to fix the line. That's what Jacksonville got to do, though.
Yeah,
do you know how indignant Spody would act if it was indeed coaching? Oh my God.
But I mean, that's what she's been saying. It's been like the last couple of months.
Yeah. I mean, if we would definitely see if it's done right. You know what I'm saying? Because Spags could be another North Turner.
I mean, call it hate and call what you want. Like, I'm just trying to get Spags away from the Chiefs, man.
Yeah, me too, Nick. And I think he's their best coach, and it's not even close.
I mean, Andy Reid is kind of good too, man.
Spags is. He's a better coach than Andy Reid.
With that defense over the years, to me, has been really fascinating. Him finding the pieces that fit his scheme, even though, like, they may not be the talented, he knows how to use them to their talent within his defense.
Right. Because the strength of the defense was the secondary. Now it's the front four.
Well, it's kind of both.
Well,
yeah, I was gonna say, I think their border play is pretty, like.
I mean, now it is, but I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Is I don't feel like he needs any specifics. Like I would say, Fangio needs like really good linebackers for his system. I don't think that Spags needs a really good specific position group. Like if you give him talent, he'll figure out how to fucking use it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not front four dependent or linebacker dependent or secondary dependent. Like he just give him some talent and he'll figure out how to maximize them.
Yeah, that's true. And I can agree with that. I mean, but it's funny because all this time he's not been getting, or he's not accepted interviews, and all of a sudden this year they're on the verge of the 3-peat, and all of a sudden he wants interviews. But maybe it's just like
at the beginning of a really heavy contract extension. So I mean, what else could it be?
I mean, but maybe it might be telling you something else. Maybe it might be telling you that Andy ain't going to coach as long as people think he's going to coach. I'm not saying anybody retire this year.
I don't know, dog. I think he won't run it up
as well.
Yeah, but I mean, because you get an extension don't mean that you can't choose to retire anytime. I'm not saying Andy going to retire this year or next year. I'm not saying that, but like maybe that road is coming, and he know it's coming, so maybe he want to be a head coach again.
I don't know,
That's
dog.
possible, but I'm like to a certain point, I think he gonna ride this out as long as he can.
Yeah, the way he was talking, like the last time I remember somebody interviewing him, asking him about retiring, and he was like, "Nah, nah, I ain't trying to go nowhere." And I was like, "Oh, he trying to run it up." Okay,
Yeah, but
okay.
the problem is if Spags ever leaves, bro, that defense not gonna be the same. It's not.
I mean, well, shit. I Spags is their best coach.
So okay,
I
okay,
don't
I got
care
a
what
question.
nobody
I got a question.
says. He's better than Andy Reid.
If he leaves, who does Andy replace at DC
That's the
out of the
question.
candidates?
It's got to
That's
be
the
someone in the
question.
house.
Who's go?
It's got to be.
It's
Got to be someone in the house.
You
yeah.
think
If
so? It's gonna be
Hopefully,
like a
hopefully.
Sala
it,
or somebody like that.
it might work. We've seen it. We've seen in-house hires work.
Hmm.
Like specifically with the Rams. I'll point
The
out this year, Chris Shula, him becoming the
shit,
defensive
D'Amico
coordinator.
Ryans.
Yeah, with the 49. Yeah, so in-house hiring can work if you know you have that person on your staff.
Right.
I mean, the issue is it can work, but it's just better. My point. It's not going to be as good as Spags running that defense, though.
I
And so, like,
agree.
I mean, yeah.
so many things
Because
like
Right.
what level
like
of regression can you get to still have you in the spot that you're in? That's the question.
okay, so we can look at the Raven situation. Um, the DC left. His name Mike. He left. You then get your fifth choice in Zach Orr. That defense didn't look that great to start the season, but they got better later on. That
Right.
defensive unit got better later on. And I think that's kind of what we can see in the potential of Spags leaving and a new DC coming in. Like it's gonna take a while for that defense to kind of gel within the system of that new DC. But I think with the pieces that they have, it'll eventually come together and work.
But I mean, like honestly, like I mean, like watching the Jets, who they've been interviewing for the GM and the coach, the shit is hilarious, man.
Bro,
Like,
they going through everybody, bro.
I mean, it's just like I mean, to me, especially at the coaching, it's evident nobody want to coach there. That's just what it tells me. Like, you know, I mean, the Bears is not the greatest job either, but at least the Bears, they got a quarterback, they got some weapons, the defense is good. So at least, I mean, the Bears ownership ain't good, but at least they got something promising to the job. But the Jets, like all the stories that came out after, like at the end of the season, like, I mean, if I'm a first time head coach, man, I'm not coaching there.
Nope.
Yeah, that's why I think if they do get a coach, it's gonna be somebody who got it's not first year type. It's gonna be I think it'll be an older coach that probably had some skin in the game before. So
I mean,
I
that
to
wouldn't
one
me,
think I'm a first time
opportunity.
G. I wouldn't even first time GM with me.
I mean, to me, the perfect coach for them is Vrabel. To me, I think Vrabel's the best coach either like there or like teams that got the talent but just need some structure. Like I think those are the teams that I think Vrabel would be the best with. And Chicago and I mean the Jets, they got players, they got talent, they just need structure. So
I think Vrabel down to the final three though.
yeah.
But I do think it's Patriots, Jets, Bears. I think those are the three.
But I don't think he interviewed with the Jets though.
I don't think he did. No, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
He only
Do
did
they
Patriots
even
and Bears.
do they have an interview with him set up?
I don't think so.
Let me see.
Because I thought like the rumor in like the in the Jet spaces was that he wasn't interviewing because I guess he don't like the Jets or something like that. He don't like the organizations. But I mean, he played for the Patriots.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, he played for the Patriots. He played on the Bill, then he coached the Titans. And I just don't look. It could be one of the situations where he don't like that franchise.
No, he doesn't have an interview scheduled with them at all.
Yeah. I mean, but the Raiders, to me, the Raiders situation is tough to call because it's like you don't really know where they're leaning because it's like they got Tom, who's apparently leading up the committee or whatever. I mean, Tom could want Ben Johnson, he could want Mike Vrabel. Like you don't really know what the Raiders are going to do, because it's, you know, you got people in positions of power that haven't gone through this before.
Right.
But I mean, the Raiders, if you think about it, the Raiders are actually not a bad job though. Like, you know, I mean, they got Bowers and Mayer at the tight end. They got Jacoby Myers, and I mean, the trade at the wide receiver. That, you know, I mean, the line and the running back need help. They don't got a quarterback, but they got a top 7. Look at this, picking 6th.
Yeah, they're 6 right now. So
I mean, they, you know, it's not the greatest roster in the world, but there's things you could work with.
Hey, Pop, who's your 3 candidates for your job that you would like?
I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I would. I like Glenn. That's probably it right now. It's just I really.
What's your opinion on like a Joe Brady or a Mike Kafka?
Joe Brady, I wouldn't necessarily hate it because he started with us. That's how he got that LSU job, and then how he came back to the league type. I wouldn't hate it, but me personally, I don't think we need a offensive head coach, because I think Clint. I just think Clint didn't get a fair shake just how the offense was this year. It's never really healthy outside like the first 2 games, but he did show me things in the play calling. Even with the losing, I was seeing him grow as an offensive coordinator, and I like the scheme he has. So I don't think he necessarily needs to get replaced per se.
Hey, I was wrong. He already completed it. It's not scheduled because he's already done it.
Who?
Vrabel?
Vrabel, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
A week ago, he on the 3rd, he finished the interview on the 3rd.
But it's funny, you can't Vrabel to the Jets at all. You just nobody talks.
But I had to go through and like find it. Like it wasn't even being talked about that he even interviewed with him.
That must have been one of the first interviews that they did there.
Yeah, he probably. Do you think it had to not go as well as planned? Because I don't know. If that was your guy, he doesn't have any ties. A dude like Vrabel, any team that he's interviewing for, I mean, those type of guys could be hired on. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's not with a team. So I mean, and you could hire him. You know, I mean, today if you want to.
I feel you, but I think Vrabel want to just weigh his options. I don't think him not being hired is on the Jets end. I think it's on Vrabel's end. He wants to see what his market value is to these teams. He wants to see like what he working with, and I think it's gonna be on Vrabel on what job he accepts. Because I do think the Jets probably did offer him the position, but I think he wants to take time to explore his options.
I think I don't know, that could be good and bad, right?
I mean, when you're a desperate team like the Jets,
I'm saying like for the job you might want somebody other people are interviewing, you know, they swoop in and take the job. You might just stick with a job you don't want, right?
But that's true. But he also waited, and you see what happened with the Raiders. The Raiders, he waited long enough for the Raiders to fire their coach and their GM.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he would have took the Jets job, then he would have never known that job was available in the first place.
Yeah, because didn't they fire Telesco like 2 days after AP?
No, I think it was the next day.
Which, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which kind of surprised me because they just hired Telesco last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, normally GMs last longer. Like GMs normally last about 2 or 3 head coaches.
Yeah, but I think that goes into something I've been hearing about from Raiders fans specifically is how Cliff Kingsbury was supposed to be their OC. He wanted a longer contract, but it seems like they were trying to offer him like maybe a very short-term deal, which creates no job security. And I also think that's kind of what the realm Telesco was in. Is like very short. We'll see if this works, and if it does, we'll keep you on and potentially extend your contract.
But somebody talking about Cliff was like Cliff is waiting to take a head coaching job once his contract with the Cardinals is done, because if he takes a head coaching job, then like that money cuts off from like the Cardinals. That's what I've been hearing about him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I think he's got one more year left on that deal. We're getting that free. Essentially, it's free money. Essentially, because I mean, he's not coaching, so not coaching there. So I mean, that's what they were saying. Like, that's why the Commander fans were saying that. Some of them I heard was saying that he's not going to take a job in this cycle, but he might take one in the next cycle.
Unless the team would now have to compensate for what he's trying to stay for too now, huh?
Yeah, we can do that too.
That made the price go up there. Like, hey, look, I'm willing to leave, but you gotta cover what Arizona was playing. You know what I mean? Get me right.
Yeah, no, that Arizona contract was crazy.
Yeah. He's like, I'm willing to leave, but you got to compensate me.
Compensate. Nah. You know what's funny though? How Shanahan always gets stuck in these conversations about this team and that team and him leaving and all that, and then he ended up like just being in the background once the carousel really get to rolling.
But it's not just Shanahan. Like, I've even heard talks like KLC in Minnesota got 1 year left on his deal, and I've heard people talking about trading to get him. Like, and I'm like, why would he want to leave there? Like, he got that whole system set up. And I mean, like, and I heard like one of my fans was like, "Oh yeah, I trade the first round pick this year for KLC." I'm like, what? So yeah, I mean, I've heard someone say that the fourth pick in the draft for a coach is an interesting move. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's an interesting move.
I mean, it's almost like what the Broncos gave up, right? I mean,
Broncos gave up it was a first and a second, I think.
And I thank them for it.
It was like 2023 first, 2024 second. Like, Jesus Christ.
But you gotta look at it though. It's paid off for them though.
It has. They're in the playoffs. They got opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, once we get in these games, like we're gonna see how we feel about that game, because I think a lot of people might be 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tough matchups this week to pick, man. But that's how you get to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, first game up. Chargers versus Texans. Chargers favored by 3. Over under is 41.5. The Texans been struggling, man. I mean, just to be real, they've been lackluster without their talent on the field. It seems like something's off. And it's probably Tank Dell not being in the lineup. It's kind of on Nico and Dalton Schultz. I just don't know, man. And it seemed like CJ, took a step back as a quarterback this year. I'm going with the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers, with the run game, Herbert being able to protect the rock, make some good throws. Then you got an opportunity to win this game. I'm gonna go Chargers. You know what? Who been on a tear that I would have never put on my on my parlay before today. Quentin Johnson. Give me his receptions, and give me Lab McConkey receiving yards and an anytime touchdown. Give me J.K. Dobbins for 50. Give me Joe Mixon for an anytime touchdown. Nico Collins receiving yards and anytime.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on this. I've been going back and forth, man, because I've been hearing the discourse not only in Twitter but TV, ESPN, whatever. Everybody on the Chargers, and that always concerns me when everybody just pick one team. And then when you couple that with having DeMeco as your coach, man, like, he's a real master motivator to me. And I mean, if you got everybody for the last week or so saying that you do. I mean, like, outside of the most disrespected team is the Steelers. I mean, that's in the playoffs. Let's be real about it. The second most disrespected team is the Houston Texans, and I just think you giving that to DeMeco to motivate his team, I think, is a very dangerous thing. So I'm gonna take the Texans plus the 3. I mean, I could also tell you just to take the Texans money line, because I really feel like that atmosphere in Houston this afternoon is gonna be crazy. I think they're gonna come out ready. And like, when I look at the matchup, like, Lad's my guy, man. Like, obviously, like, he played for the school that I cheer for in college. But you have Stingley playing for the Texans, so I would assume that's who he's gonna be going against. I mean, pretty much all day. And so I mean, so you toss that out there. So like I toss that out there, and then like so what I'm pretty much saying is that like Palmer and QJ got to win. They got to win against that defense, against the other corners and safeties. And so like that's going to be interesting. And you also got to take into account that the other cornerback for the Texans, he went to Georgia. Like like he's a rookie, so he went to Georgia. So he know Ladd pretty good too. So I'm pretty sure he's if it's not going to be Stingley, it's going to be him covering Ladd. And so he kind of know Ladd. So so I look at that, but I also look at the fact that the Chargers, to me, they're gonna have to be able to run the ball. Like I think if they can't run the ball against the Texans, what you don't want Herbert, and I get it, Herbert's a mobile guy, but the Texans pass rush is definitely a real thing. So I just think you got to be careful with that. But yeah, I do like the Texans. Props in this game that I do like. I do like Justin Herbert's rushing yards because I think, like I said, I think the Texans are going to get after him. He's going to take the pocket, and it's literally going to take one or two runs for him to get, he's over rushing yards. He's a very quarterback at doing that. I'm gonna take Ladd. I'm gonna be conservative with Ladd though. I'm gonna take Ladd like 5 for 50. Obviously hope he has a good game. I'm on the QJ boat. Like, so give me QJ for a anytime touchdown.
They got him for 40. They got him for 46.5 today.
Who? Herbert?
Q.
Oh, Q. Nah, I'm not taking that though. I'm going to take him for the anytime touchdown, man. I don't trust his hands enough to take him for his reception or his yards. I'm sorry.
That boy ain't had a drop in a minute.
Okay.
It's a playoff.
So DK, I'll take DK for anytime too, and 50 yards. And I'll take Will Dissly for 3 receptions because I think that's the safety valve for for him right now. Texan side, give me Mixon and Nico for anytime touchdown. Give me Mixon for about 50 rushing yards. Give me Nico. I don't think they have anybody to cover Nico, so I think Nico can go off. So give me a Nico for 70 yards. And then a prop I'm not putting this on a parlay or a single, but a prop you might want to look at is Stover, the rookie tight end.
Would you take Nico number? You said 70. They got him for 78.5.
Yeah, I would take that too. Take Nico for 70 or 80. I think you hit it no problem. And then I would also look at Stover. That's the rookie tight end that they drafted at Ohio State who actually played with CJ. I assume his number is pretty low. It's probably like 10, 15 yards.
6.5.
Yeah, I would definitely take it because they have a relationship, and with the 2 wide receivers being out, that's a good chance for him. You're essentially talking about him catching 1 pass. That's what you're essentially talking about. So yeah, those.
You must know something because they got that bitch at minus 125 too.
It's his college team. He played with them at Ohio State, so they're really, and they play on the same team now in the league. So yeah, it's worth a try.
Pops, sir. I ain't heard Sir talking about an hour.
Man, he probably on COD right now.
Yeah, for me, this is kind of like a pick'em game. I think, the Texans haven't been playing well, but I do know, like to the point JMIK is saying, they're gonna be motivated to play in this game, to prove something. Chargers as well, like first year, new staff, y'all are back in the playoffs after missing it last couple years. So I think Chargers got something to prove. I'm gonna lean the Texans just because I feel this being a home game for them, they're gonna come to play. They're gonna show out. I do like Ladd's receptions in this. I also like Joe Mixon is rushing. If you could get it at like 50, I would take it.
Chargers got him at 66.5 today.
Now that might be a risk I'll take. I think he could get that over the course of the game, just because I think both defenses they don't allow a lot of big plays, but you can methodically move the ball on them, especially with that Texans secondary getting kind of healthier. Over the last couple of games, you got some pieces back, so I think that helps as well. So I believe running the ball is going to be a big priority for both teams. So I'll take also J.K. Dobbins rushing yards as well. I think this will be a pretty competitive game. I do like the over on the points because I do think both teams can score about 24 points. So that'll hit the over. So I'll take that as well.
Certified, you there?
Yeah. I mean, I think that these teams are pretty even. Uh, the the Texans haven't been playing that well. They kind of banged up at the same time, and um, uh, I guess I haven't really been paying attention to the Chargers, so I don't know if they're playing good football right now or whatever. But it is a home team. I mean, a home game. This that second the Titans' second year going in. They won the division last year too. Yeah. So I guess I get the edge to them. Playing at home 2 years in a row. I think they want to try to prove that they're competitors. We know that they're not, but no, our athletes are. So it should be a good game. Should be a good game. As far as props, I mean the usual suspects, man. McConkey, his yards. I like Justin Herbert's rushing yards too. And
Yeah, 18 and a half. I definitely took that.
yeah, and on the other side, I don't know, man. I mean,
I'm
Houston
scared of
just
that lad
hasn't been.
McConkey though, sir, just a
Yeah,
little bit. They got him at 75 and a half. If
I know he gonna get the targets. I know that for sure.
JMIK right, if Derek Stingley travel, that's gonna be a tough one at 75 and a
Yeah,
half.
but I think what's the line 2.5?
It's
What?
Chargers -3.
Yeah, 3.
I'll just favor by 3. Wow, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I think I like the Texans at home. I take the points.
So next game on the docket. Steelers versus Ravens. Ravens favored by 9.5. Over under is 43.5. Go ahead, Pop. You got it.
I think this Arthur Smith offense they've been running with the Steelers kind of hit a wall. I think we've seen the best of what it is, and I don't think it's going to get any better. I also think Russell Wilson's play has kind of fallen off as well. And this being a divisional game, I don't like the 9.5 points. I don't. I think it'll be a lot closer game, in my opinion, especially with Zay Flowers being gone. I need to see what that offense can do a full game without Zay Flowers. Um, I'm gonna lean the Ravens just because I have like how that defense has been playing down the stretch. That offense is really clicking right now. I think Mark Andrews is kind of he's been steadying his play. I like the use of Likely more within the offense, and Derrick Henry been on a run. And Lamar, I think we've seen this is his best season, in my opinion, as a passer of the football. And we're seeing that production. So I'm gonna go to Ravens. I'm not gonna take the spread. Like I said, I think that's just a little too much for, especially it being a divisional game. I will take the over on the points. Props probably take Mark Andrews yards because he's been getting about 30 to 40 yards a game. Um, Henry rush yards or anytime touchdown. Steelers, I think a sneaky pick will be Fryermuth, his receptions or his receiving yards, because I think he's become a safety valve for Russell Wilson in the intermediate game. And then probably Warren or Najee's rush yards as well. The lines are pretty favorable. I think like 42.5 or something like that. So I'll take those as well.
Quick news update. Quick news update. It's reported that Ben Johnson Camp is saying that they're very impressed with the interview that they just had with the Raiders.
Mm,
And Tom Brady did attend the interview.
I mean, of course,
yeah.
he's leading that.
I don't know. When there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Pretty much.
Man, you know, listen, Tom can sell a slug salt, man.
So if Ben go over, I mean, well, I don't want to get too excited because I mean, what they got? What's that pick?
Yeah, the 6th pick actually.
6. They need a quarterback, man. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, and then if you look at the draft right now, where they are, it's 3 potential teams can take a quarterback before it gets to them.
I mean, they're if they want a quarterback in this draft, they're gonna have to trade up. I don't think there's any way around that.
Listen, he pull another Detroit, right? Draft some offensive pieces and then sign Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but that will require
Who's
the only thing with that
who's
is,
gonna be the OC? Who's gonna be the like?
and it will require the Vikings let him go. I just don't see the Vikings letting him go though.
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so. Because the problem is you don't know what you have in JJ. So if I'm them, why am I letting him go if I don't know if JJ had a second procedure on his knee? So so I'm not sure how ready he really gonna be.
I'm more willing to shop JJ than I am Sam at this point.
Yeah, but I'm not.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
No. I'm saying like if you was putting a gun in my head and say, hey man, you either get rid of Sam or get rid of JJ, I would be more preferred to shop JJ than Sam. I at least know what I'm getting out of Sam. JJ is
you got a point.
Really
you got a point. You got a point.
I mean,
I've seen a year of Sam Darnold
and Sam is what 27, 28?
Yep.
Yeah, he's real young still.
Might be on to something, brother.
All right, but back to the game though. I'm so torn, man. I'm really torn because I really want to ride with the Steelers plus 9.5. But I really,
yeah, that's a lot of points, yo. For a playoff and divisional game, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna take Steelers plus 9.5. I think the Ravens should win the game, but I think it's gonna be close, man. I really do. Give me George Pickens for whatever big play they got him for. I'm sure he'll get it this time. He's gonna be slightly motivated after the stinker he had the other week. Give me. I wouldn't touch Buddy with a 10-foot post. I'm gonna leave him alone.
And who you talking about, man?
Najee Harris.
Hey, let the people know who you talking about, man.
I wouldn't touch Najee Harris with a 10-foot pole. Buddy just if you're gonna take him lowest number you can get possible, he just don't show up on a consistent basis for me.
Yeah.
I do
anything
like Warren,
over
though.
50.
Yeah. Give me Warren, rushing and receiving. Maybe like 75. Give me Lamar rushing yards. There's no Zay Flowers today. I mean, he's gonna do his thing. And give me maybe Bateman receiving yards. I think they're gonna have to use Bateman a little bit and Mark Andrews anytime. I think that's me.
Yeah, I think I'm the last to chime. I agree with everybody saying. To say that the Ravens are 10 points better. I get that they played 2-3 weeks ago. But if you watch that game, I mean, I get it. Like you look at the end score, like the game wasn't close in the end score. But if you really watch that game, if Russell Wilson don't fumble on the goal line, that game is totally different. Like it really is. And I mean, so I mean, if Russell Wilson can have a much cleaner game, I think they got a good chance. So I'm a ride with the panel. I mean, give me the Steelers plus 9.5, and then you also don't have Zay Flowers. I think not having Zay Flowers is a big deal because I mean that's the number one wide receiver. And then once you take him off the field, I mean, you're talking about depending on Rashard Bateman and like Nelson Aguilar and Tez Walker, the guy they draft. Like I don't love that, to be honest with you. And I mean, the Steelers have the Steelers for the most part have played Lamar pretty tough. I'm not saying the Steelers going to win the game, but I definitely think they're going to cover it. But I do think they got a good chance because, like I said, like they played twice. They are split 1-1. Each a home team won. Each game, I believe. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think this is going to be a really good game. I mean, it's going to be must-watch TV because I mean these are Steelers Ravens games. I like that. For me, the biggest indication of this game is if the Steelers can keep this into like the low teens, like well not the low teens, but like the high teens, like low 20s. If they can keep this game there, I think they got a good chance. Props I like. I think this is a bounce back game for Pickens. So give me Pickens yards and receptions. Like I think. He dropped the ball way too much in their last game, and I mean he kind of needs to redeem himself. So I see him doing that. I like Freiermuth for an anytime touchdown. Like Freiermuth has really been coming on the last couple of weeks. So I feel as if he's going to get a chance to actually make an impact. So give me him for anytime touchdown. The only Najee prop I really like is anytime touchdown because if they get down near the goal line, I think he'll be in the game to score it. So I'll take that. On the Ravens side, give me Derrick Henry for 80 rushing yards and a touchdown. Give me Lamar Jackson for 40 rushing yards. What else do I like? I like Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. I think he's going to be able to make an impact in this game, and that they're going to need him to. The only Rashard Bateman prop I would probably take is him to catch a pass over 20 yards. I've never been like a Rashard Bateman fan, and then with Zay not being there, he's essentially a number one wide receiver. And so the coverage will be shaded towards him. I mean, him and Mark Andrews. So I just don't know how that's going to go for him. So I'm going to go conservative with him with like the one catch for over 20.
I think his line today is like 45.
Yeah. I'll just stick with the one catch for over 20. I'll stay with that. Give me Isaiah Likely for 25 receiving yards. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
You already did.
I don't know, man. I think the Ravens are going to cover for some reason. I just do. Pittsburgh has not been playing good football at all on either side of the ball, to be honest with you. JJ Watt has slowed down a little bit. I don't know, man. I got Derrick Henry going crazy on these boys today, and I'll take Lamar and Derrick Henry's yards. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown is back, like it never left. And then I don't know, man. Warren for Pittsburgh. That motherfucker's like money in the bank. I like it.
All right, man. Broncos versus Bills. Bills favored by 8.5. Over under is 40.5. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mick. You got it. You can have your favorite rival of all time.
I mean, actually, I hate the Dolphins more, actually, but yeah. I like the Bills in this game. 8.5. I don't know about that. Like, I think they win by a touchdown though. So you can either move that down to -6.5, or you could just take the Broncos plus the 8.5, I guess. I feel more comfortable going with the Bills -6.5. That's what I feel comfortable with. I just think, man, like the Broncos defense is really good. I'm not taking that away from their defense, but you got to go up to Buffalo. It's not going to be like extremely cold up there. I think it's like 30 degrees. I mean, and you might get a little wind gusts here and there. So the weather's nothing crazy. my issue is I get Bo Nix have had a really good year, but you're still talking about a rookie guy going on the road into a playoff game against a team that's well seasoned in the playoffs. And I just think, I just think it's going to be an issue because also the Denver Broncos, they don't run the ball that well. And I think to take advantage of the Bills, you have to be able to run the ball. You look at the losses that they've taken. I mean, obviously, besides the Patriots game because they're playing backups, but if you look at the game they lost against the Ravens were really effective in the run game. And you look at the Rams game, I mean, like Kyron Williams was pretty effective, and I mean Stafford was, pinpoint that game. So I mean, that's just two of the games that they lost. So I just think to beat the Bills, you have to have a good run game, and I just don't think the Broncos have enough of a run game because the only person I trust in their run game is Bo Nix. I don't trust Williams, and I don't trust. Estimate. I like the kid in the draft. I just don't think he's played enough for me to say I trust him. At this particular spot. But Bo Nix, I wasn't a believer, but I mean he's had a great year, so I mean like you can't take that away from him. But he's got his work cut out for him, and in this game, props I like. I like Bo Nix to run for 25 yards. Cortland Sutton, give me him 50 yards and a touchdown. Valet, like I really like the kid Valet. I mean, give me him for 25 receiving yards. And then I'm gonna go with Mims with a touchdown, with an anytime touchdown. Like Mims, the last month of the season has been on fire. And on the Bills side, I think the Bills are gonna have a little bit of issue running the ball with James Cook because that Denver defense is so stout. But I'll still take James Cook for about 40 yards. Take it for an anytime. No, actually, I'm not gonna take it for an anytime touchdown. Just 40 yards rushing. I'll take it for 25 yards receiving. Give me Josh Allen anytime touchdown. Give me Amari Cooper. I'm be real conservative Amari Cooper, man. Like I'm not an Amari Cooper fan, to be honest with you. I don't trust him in big spots. So I'm gonna take Amari for 25 receiving yards. Give me Knox for 3 receptions. And give me Shakir for 5 receptions, 50 yards.
Pop.
Yeah, I do think the Bills will win. I think this Broncos defense can potentially make it a lot closer. They have the capabilities. It's not a lot of teams, but they do play physical and they play hard. A lot of names, but they play physical and they play hard. I specifically like, I think it's Benito that's on their defense. I like the way he plays. I think he's a real hard hitter on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think the Bills will handily win this. I think Josh Allen's going to come in here prepared. It's going to be a home game, and I think the Bills going to get rocking, specifically that offense. I think they'll take advantage of. Defensively, I think the Bills can take advantage of the fact that the Broncos' run game is very inconsistent, and sometimes it can be Bo Nix dependent. And so, if you can slow down Nix and that make him one-dimensional, force him to be the passer, I think you'll create turnover opportunities and extra possessions for the Bills' offense. I agree with all the pop plays that Nick says. I don't have anything different. I personally wouldn't take the spread just because I think it's just a little risky, especially with the Broncos potentially getting a garbage time, either field goal or touchdown. So I'll just go Bills money line straight up.
Certified.
Um, I, 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 the Bills should have this in the bag. I, I, they're pretty good in the wild card round, so we'll just wait for the divisional round.
Man, so all y'all picked the Bills. Man, I don't want to jinx them. You know what I mean? So this is low key like my upset, the biggest possibility of an upset I think that I have for the week. So I'll go Broncos. You know what I mean? Because when we all pick one team, I don't want them to lose, and I would like them to progress. So I'll take the Broncos plus 8.5. I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton can cook up a little something
Yeah.
to keep that Bills defense at least honest for the game. I know they do struggle running the ball consistently with the running back, but when Bo Nix is cooking, he can do a little something. So
I
I'll take the 8.5.
yeah, I feel like the Broncos had a capability of being competitive, but I don't know. I don't know. The MVP battle cry campaign is still going on, so I can't wait for that shit to be over with. Jesus Christ. We've been crying about this fucking MVP for about
Yo,
2 months, yo.
I'm not gonna lie. Like once the All Pro shit dropped yesterday, like you couldn't get into a football space without Ravens and fucking Bills fans. Shit was.
Bro. I'm so tired of hearing about this fucking MVP shit, man.
I mean, but it's funny because like I could see if it was like the Chiefs and Mahomes because they done won multiple Super Bowls and I could see that. But like if I'm a team that ain't won no Super Bowl, I'm not worried about the MVP, to be honest with you. That's not what I'm worried about. Like if he win the shit, he win the shit. If he don't, he don't. Like I'm worried about winning in the playoffs. That's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so
Listen, man, this is pretty. I haven't been here in a while. And last time I was, spaces wasn't even the thing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, being to sit back and slander motherfuckers for losing in the playoffs. It's the stupidest shit ever, dog, because it's like I made it to the postseason, but I'm gonna get slandered for losing. This how I know these motherfuckers are stupid. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So I'll be stupid this season and slander teams for losing in the postseason.
I mean, but for me, it's like I get slandering people for losing. Like the only people I really slander is if you go against the Chiefs and you can't beat the Chiefs. Like if the Bills and the Ravens, the real Bills and Ravens don't really play that much in the post. If that matchup does happen and they lose, like I like great. I mean, you can slander one team, but I don't see the point. But if you go to the AC Championship game and you constantly lost to the Chiefs and you still can't beat them, and in the year where the offense isn't that good and the defense has some injuries, then yeah, I mean, and you're gonna get slandered for that.
Yeah. I honestly can't think of a team that I should slander, so I'll just pick one randomly.
I mean, but you tell me that if the Ravens don't win tonight, like you're not gonna slander. Like people going if the Ravens don't beat the Steelers, like they're gonna get slandered.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna be shocked that they lost to the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna cover. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers won.
Yeah.
whoa, easy, Pat boy, easy, good brother. Ain't no slander on us. We gonna beat your ass. You hear me? You see what I got on today, nigga? You see that? You see who that is, nigga? Yeah, Quinyanamo, man. We back. The Bay is back, nigga. You hear me? Now we got Packers versus Eagles. Eagles favored by 5. Over under is 45.5. I really don't even want to go first, but I'll go first. I think we go win the game. To be honest, without Jair Alexander and Christian Watson, I think they're going to be a little hindered on defense. I don't know. I mean, last time they played, they predominantly put Jair over AJ Brown. He still had a great game though. They are pretty stout in stopping the run, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Saquon is one of the only running backs to have 100+ yards on him this season. So I expect them to make a conservative decision to protect their young player that's out there in the secondary, which is going to open up some of the lanes for Saquon. Give me Saquon for 100 yards in the anytime. Give me Jalen Hurts for anytime. Give me Josh Jacobs for anytime. And the best stat that Certified always put me on, give me Jordan Love anytime interception. Eagles money line. Whoever won.
I'll go next. Yeah, like to me, the Packers got too much stuff going on. I mean, you went into the week not knowing if like Love was gonna play. You know, I mean, he got injured in the last game, his elbow, but that's I mean, they've been showing clips of him in practice throwing the ball like a whole bunch. So I guess that's been like he's gonna play, but yeah, like not having.
Look the same to you, Mick. I mean, I watched some videos and it just looked like he's like.
Yeah, they were showing on Get Up. I mean, he looked all right, but it's practice. Like my issue is when you get into the game, and you take it on live fire, and someone hits you in that arm or that elbow, how's it gonna hold up? That's my issue.
Like when I was watching the video, it just looked like he was pushing more with his body through the throw instead of just like how he usually is just arm. It seemed like he was like turning with it, like giving it a little extra oof.
But I mean, the one thing that I saw was that he wasn't after throwing the ball, like he wasn't touching his hand or his elbow. So maybe that's a good sign. I just don't know. But I mean, the funny thing is, like, the Eagles fans have been saying that I'll be getting off to slow starts, which is valid. I mean, it did happen in the last couple of weeks, but most of the season that's been valid.
Yeah.
And the Packers are also kind of do the same thing where like Jordan Love doesn't get off the fast starts either. So he has that same issue. To me, it's imperative that the Green Bay be able to run the ball. I think if they can't run the ball, it's going to be a long day. Because I think Jordan Love really depends on the run game, and if they can't run the ball, it's going to be a long day. I mean, but you can say the same for the Eagles too. I mean, the Eagles need to get Saquon involved. I mean, if Saquon's involved, the offense is just much more potent.
30 kilos.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm taking the Eagles -5. Like, I just think that they're just a better team and they're just a healthier team. I mean, like the thing with Jalen Hurts does concern me because he hasn't played in a while. So I just wonder if there's a little bit of rust. I'm not too concerned with it because I mean, what he missed the last 2 games and then he went out early in the Commanders game, so he ain't really played a full football game in a month. But like I said, I'm not too with having Saquon and AJ and Smitty, not too worried about it.
I've seen him miss a month before JMIK.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, rest factor gonna happen. I do agree with you that rest is just. I mean, timing. You haven't been in that rhythm in a minute. You got to get it back under your feet, see it better. So I do think we go. I think it's going to be a lot of Saquon early.
And also they got to be concerned about running. Running Jalen a lot. I wouldn't do it unless the game calls for me to run him a lot. Like because, like I said, he coming off a concussion. I'm pretty sure he's fully healed, but I'm not. I just wouldn't want to take the risk. Like I wouldn't want to take the risk of getting him concussed. And let's say you do win the game, and then you go into the game next week with uncertainty that he might not play because he concussed. So I like run him when you need to, but I just wouldn't overuse him in the run game. I mean that's what I'm thinking.
I want him somewhere between 6 and 8 carries. That's it.
And I mean, like say I was
not 6 design carries either. I mean like 6 total.
Yeah, like the design runs and scrambles.
Yeah, like two or three design, and then 2 or 3 scrambles. But I want him to protect himself a little bit, man. Get out of fucking bounds. Please.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if I'm the coach and if I'm like, if you're gonna run or we design a run, get down before you get contacted. So just don't even
stop sliding fucking head first, Jalen. You need to go in the off season. That nigga need to go work with whoever teaches people how to slide. That boy be sliding head first too damn much. I
mean, props I like. Give me Saquon for anytime touch. Like this is always treacherous, man, taking it for a touchdown, but. Give me Saquon for any time touchdown. Give me AJ Brown. Give me AJ for about 60 yards on 5 receptions. Give me Smitty 40 yards and a touchdown. I'll take
the reason I took Saquon for the touchdown. Do you remember what happened in that game, Mick?
Nah,
he should have had a 76-yard touchdown, but he went too far left and he ran into Xavier McKinney. And got tackled. And he been talking about it all season. Like, man, I should have went right. And then he said it after the Saints game. He's like, maybe if I did what I did against the Saints, I would have scored against the Packers. So I think that boy looking for that redemption off missing that big touchdown. Maybe.
Yeah, probably so.
Could be wrong.
Yeah. So I was saying like, yeah, give me Saquon for 70 rushing yards. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Saquon in this game. I'm also going to take Saquon's receiving line. It's probably around 10, 15 yards. That's what it is. So I would take that too. Packers side, the Packers are tough, man, to bet on because you don't really know which receiver he going to throw the ball to.
That's why I just said Josh Jacobs, because it could be any one of the receivers.
Yeah, it could be anyone. I'll take Dobbs for 40. I'll take Reed for 25. I think the Packers going to have to throw a lot, so I would take Love for his pass. I just think they're going to be behind and they're going to have to throw, and that'll get you his total. Let me see who else I'm thinking about. Jacobs. I'll take Jacobs for anytime touchdown. And also take Jacobs for his receiving yards too. This should be around 5, and I think he should be good for that too.
Jacobs at 17.5, Saquon 10.5.
Yeah, I would definitely take both of those.
Jaden Reed, it will be Cooper DeJean.
Oh, Jaden Reed's never going on a ticket again. No dance currency being put on him.
Yeah, it's Jaden Reed versus Coop, Pat boy. That's what it's gonna be.
I think Saquon could take over this game like they did in the first matchup. I just don't know if that Packers defense has gotten better necessarily in being able to try to contain Saquon. He had 3 tutties on him, potentially he could have 4. Yeah, I think Saquon with rest, I think we could see him do not necessarily that, but something comparable. I think he'll have a pretty decent game. With Jair being out, I think AJB, I think he'll hit his receptions. Who's gonna win? I'm gonna just go with the Eagles. I believe it's Saquon for real. Not necessarily Jalen Hurts. I do believe it's Saquon because I think Saquon, he's the difference maker for them. I think having him is just like an added bonus. And then you get Smitty, some rest, healthy, AJ Brown. Yeah, Hurts probably going to be a little iffy in the beginning of the game, but I think he'll eventually get back in the groove. And then the way the defense has been playing, I think they'll be stout. A player I would probably target on the Packers side of the ball is Dobbs, because I think, to me, Dobbs is like their wide receiver 1, like in regards to progressions. Josh Jacobs, my thing with Josh Jacobs and the Packers is sometimes they get away from running the ball. And Jacobs is one of those running backs. You just keep feeding him, and he'll eventually get that big run. He's going to eventually wear down that defense. And I think that's what the Packers are going to really have to lean on, especially with Jordan Love's injury. I don't think it's going to be like a crazy blowout. I do like the spread. I do like the over on the points as well. But yeah, sorry, Packboy. Jaden Reed, no U.S. currency ever being put on him again. Sorry.
She's like, I'm not doing it.
I think I think Philly. It's probably going to be a little closer. In the beginning, I think that Philly is definitely going to wear them down with the run. I also feel like Vic Fangio is probably going to have Jordan Love in the blender. I can see him. He gonna give it up. He definitely gonna give him one. I think Philly cover. Saquon. I'll take his receiving yards. I'll take anytime touchdown. I'll take his rushing yards. I'll take his rushing attempts. And on the other side, Jordan Love anytime touchdown. Oh, and Josh Jacobs, he gonna get his touches too. I don't know if he gonna get the yards, but he gonna get his touches.
Commanders versus Bucks. Bucks favored by 3, over under 50.5. Go ahead, certified. Take this.
Oh man, is listen. I don't want nobody to die because I criticize their team or nothing like that. So I don't like relax, but um, I think that the Commanders are going to lose on the road versus the I don't know what 3-time, 4-time division champs at home. Uh, I just I trust Todd Bowles and his defense and what he's going to do more than I trust anything on the Commanders. I do like Jaden Daniels and his big play capability, but this is a tall task to go into Tampa Bay versus one of the best defensive minds in the league with a rookie quarterback and a shaky offensive coordinator and beat the Bucks right now. Especially the way Baker Mayfield playing, you're definitely going to have to put up some points, and we'll see. We'll see. You're going to see some shit that you ain't seen all year. You know what I'm saying? Like in the playoffs, the playbook is wide open. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I like Todd Bowles versus rookies. So yeah, I'll go with the Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucky Irvin, uh, receiving yards, rushing yards. Mike Evans, I'll probably take his attempts, and Jaden Daniels rushing yards for sure. Um, that's about it.
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
Mick. Yeah.
yeah, I go next. Man, I mean, like Jaden, my God, man, like Jaden, the guy I liked in the draft process. I mean, and I just think if this game is close in the fourth quarter, he will win. He will will them to win the game. He's done. You've seen in the last month of the season, like he's willed them to win games. And I just think that's an intangible that you really can't measure, and especially in playoff. I mean, he's done it in regular season games that had impact. Like obviously the Falcons game, the Falcons needed to win because like at that point they were up in the division by like half a game, and they needed that game. But I mean, Jaden took the ball late in the fourth quarter and in overtime and won that game. And I just think that the Bucks secondary can be had. I mean, their secondary has not been very good all year. So I mean, you can take advantage of that. But I also think that the Commanders have to be able to run the ball. I mean, running the ball against the Bucks is not an easy task. I mean, with like Vita Vea. But they're going to have to at least put in the effort to run the ball because you cannot drop back 50 times against this team. Because if you drop back 50 times against the Bucks, I mean, like they have good pass rushers. So I mean, you got to be worried about that. I mean, from the Buccaneers side, I mean, personally, like Baker's played in the playoffs, 3 or 4 games. So I mean, like Baker has plenty of playoff experience. I'm not really worried about Baker. I mean, like Baker should be just fine. And Bucky Irvin was another guy that I really liked in the draft. I mean, he's performing really, really well. My concern with the Bucks is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is going against Marshawn Lattimore. These shits be wars. When these two players, like go against each other. I don't know the scheme of the Commanders if they're gonna have Lattimore if he's healthy enough to shadow Mike Evans the whole game. Like I don't know how that's gonna go because he really hasn't played that much for the Commanders. Like those matches have been wars, and I'm looking forward to seeing it on a Sunday night again. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to come down to who gets the ball last, and I'm going to take the Commanders plus the 3. For props, I like give me Jaden Daniels 200 passing yards. Give me Jaden for 25 rushing yards. Scary Terry, I believe he's going to get in the end zone this game, and I'll take him for 50 yards and a touchdown. I like Zach Ertz too. I'm going to take Zach Ertz for about 40 yards. Brian Robinson, anytime touchdown. That's all I like on that side. The Bucs side, give me Baker for his yards. Give me Bucky Irvin for about 50 rushing yards and 25 receiving. I'm gonna go conservative with Mike Evans, like I said, like he's going against Marshawn Lattimore. I don't know if he's gonna shadow him the whole game, but I'll take Mike Evans for four receptions, 40 yards. Give me Jalen McMillan, a dude I really loved in the draft. Give me him for about 40 yards for a touchdown. And I believe Cade Otton is coming back this game too. So I'm gonna take 8.
He is. He has been practicing, so
Yeah, so I'm gonna
he's
take him.
started.
Yeah, so I mean, dudes like that are coming back from injury, especially in the playoffs. I like to be conservative with them guys. Like I don't want to, overextend myself. So I'll take him for 25 yards too. And I believe I said it, but take Baker for his passing yards as well.
Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, just to add to the last part, what JMIK said about players coming back, the Buccaneers, I believe, are getting Winfield and Jamel Dean, two guys that have missed the last few games for them, and they've been full participants in practice. So I think that's a big boost for the Bucs secondary. Um, I'm gonna go to the Buccaneers just because I think they're the more experienced team. I think Baker has been there. He has won some playoff games with the Buccaneers. I also think Todd Bowles knows how to adjust his scheme when he needs to. And I think that will be the key to success, especially going into the third and fourth quarter of the game, kind of allowing that defense to just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, get after that offensive line. I don't think the linebacker play for the Bucs has been particularly good, but I think that front has kind of helped them out and allowed them to flow when need be. On the Commander side, I do think that they have to establish the run because they cannot allow this Buccaneers defense to make them one dimensional because the game will get out of hand for them really quickly. And I think, I believe it's Chris Rodriguez, that the Commanders have. I think he has to get a little bit more play in this game as well with Brian Robinson. I do think Jaden will have a good performance, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the Buccaneers that take the W. I don't have any other props. Jamie kind of covered all the props that I would take. So when it comes to that, I'll just leave that alone. I'll probably see if I could drop the over underline though to like maybe 45 because I think 50 and a half is it's a lot. It's possible because both these offenses are explosive, but just to be comfortable, I'll try to see if I could drop that to like 45.
I think Todd Bowles is obviously going to cause as much havoc for Jaden Daniels as possible. I think he does a good job at just confusing quarterbacks and putting them under pressure, making them make throws they don't want to make. I think Jaden Daniels early in this game probably will be a little bit off of his game. He probably pick it up around the third or fourth quarter. Like everybody said on the panel, if it's close in the fourth quarter, I think that obviously gives Jaden Daniels, who's been able to come through most of the season, an opportunity to win that game. But I do got the Bucs winning. Give me the Bucs -3. Give me the under on the 50 and a half, though. Yeah, the prop's kind of already been covered, though. Bucky, Jaden Daniels. The one person that I don't know if y'all said, Terry McLaurin, that boy can't go take it either. That boy is wishy washy. Jesus Christ. The man be hot one game, cold one game.
No more tickets for him as well.
Yeah. He on the band. He on the band.
I mean, the one I didn't even notice this, but the last two games we talked about, the Eagles game and this game, both these teams played in the first week of the season. It's a very interesting situation.
Yep. Yep. So now we get to see what these teams look like after going through a full season, what that rematch gonna be like. So yeah.
I ain't even noticed that. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Like, there's a couple of rematches in this, this wild card weekend. So
I think this next one we going to is a rematch too.
Yes, it is.
Vikings versus Rams. Vikings favored by 2.5. Over under is 47.5. I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think? Because I heard Sean McVay has been playing the video of Tell me his name. Tell me the Detroit coach Dan Campbell telling Kevin O'Connell, "I'll see you in 2 weeks."
Well, what does that have to do with that? Ain't got nothing to do with the Vikings,
because the Vikings, the Kevin O'Connell told Dan Campbell told Kevin
Dan
O'Connell, "I'll
Campbell
see you in
told
2 weeks."
no, he said I might see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
They
but
say he's been planning. They say he's been
that's
planning that
that's
practice.
what Dan can't I get you trying to drum up the motivation, but KOC didn't say that though. It's not like he said it to Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell said it to him. So
No, but I get like you just trying to find any type of motivation for your team going into this game. But I'm gonna be honest, I think it's go because this is a Thursday night, if I remember correctly. This is a Thursday night game rematch. And the Rams played the Vikings at home and I believe beat the Vikings at home. There was a couple of fluky calls that could have went the Vikings' way, but we don't have to rehash that because the game was already played.
yeah, that was that game where Donald was in the end zone. They grabbed it. That was
and they didn't call the penalty. Yep, that was that Rams game. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams with this. They are playing in Arizona. And I just think a lot of what's going on in the city, like that's gonna fuel them. Not only that, but like you're in the playoffs with a first time DC and that defense, like I'm gonna be honest, I thought Verse was gonna be good. I didn't expect him to be playing as well as he has. That D line for the Rams has been physical and the way they play is fast and they know how to shed blocks. And I think if the Rams are able to create the havoc that we saw the Lions create for Sam Darnold, I do think the Rams can win this. I also think that the offensive side of the ball for the Rams has really been clicking for them. And given that extra time of rest, I think we'll see great production out of the offensive side of the ball. For the Vikings, I don't know, like Sam Darnold got to hit them plays, them open plays. I watch you miss a guy 4 times in a row. Like high or outside, you have to be better in this playoff atmosphere, especially being on the road. I do like Jettas to get his targets, his receptions. Addison kind of I think he was shut out against the Lions actually, but I do think this could be a bounce back game for him. I do also like Hawkinson. Hawkinson's really starting to come on as well. And Aaron Jones, I think in the passing game, he's a big boost for them as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go to Rams, and I'll take like props. I'll probably take I'll take Jettis catches. I'll take Puka's. I'll take Cups. I'll take Kyron's rushing yards as well. And low key, I'll take Stafford for any time interception because he's good for at least one.
yeah, just to add to your point, Hawkinson didn't play in the first matchup, so
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I think he was he on PUP or IR?
he was still on pup at that point, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is going to be another good one. When I look at this matchup, like I could pick either team, to be honest. But I just think like I get that Sean McVay's trying to steal motivation because what Dan Campbell said. I just think there's a lot going on in LA right now, man. And I just think football is hard enough when you just got to focus on the game, but then you trying to tell me that you got to focus on a wild card weekend game, and then you also got wildfires that are ravaging LA. That's just the ravaging is so much that the game not even going to be played in LA. It's going to be played in Arizona. I just think that is a lot to have the players that actually live in that community. And I mean, I assume that their families is okay or whatever, but like who knows? They might have friends in that community or friends in the city. It's a lot to think about. I know football is football, but like these are human beings. And so, like Pop said, like the first matchup was really close. I mean, Stafford had a really good game. I think Stafford threw for 4 touchdowns. Sam Darnold had a solid game too. I mean, he threw for 2. My issue with this game is what Matthew Stafford are you gonna get? Are you gonna get the Matthew Stafford that played against the Bills, or are you gonna get the Matthew Stafford that played the last 2 weeks of the season? That's my question. And my other question also is it pertains to the Vikings defense. I mean, Brian Flores is my guy, man. He coached for my team. You know, I got a lot of respect for Flores. I do not think this is the kind of game that you want to be blitzing Matt Stafford all kind of crazy. Like blitzing Matthew Stafford, who's an experienced quarterback in this league. I mean, it could work 2 ways. It could work to your benefit. He could turn over the ball, or if you don't get to him in time, he's going to torch you. I mean, that's the problem with blitzing veteran quarterbacks, and I think that's the risk that you run. But saying all that, I mean, I do like the Vikings minus the 2.5. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things going into this game, and I think the Vikings want to get rid of that Thursday night game. So I mean, that's just my outlook on the game. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. I'm interested to see what Flores does the second time around. Because like I said, you can get into trouble. I mean, like blitzing. I mean, Matthew Stafford. Props I like in this game. Give me Sam Darnold passing yards. Give me Jettis for 80 yards and a touchdown. Give me Addison for 50. Hawkinson for 25. Aaron Jones, I'm not touching you with a 10-foot pole. You are on my ban list. I'm not doing nothing with that guy. So there goes that. The Rams side definitely taking Stafford for his passing yards. Definitely taking Puka for 80 yards and a touchdown. I'm gonna ride with Cooper Kupp even against my best judgment because he'd be selling too. I'm gonna take Cooper Kupp for 25 receiving yards. I don't trust him any more than that. And I'm gonna give me Kyron Williams for 70 yards rushing as well.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Like they wasn't 100% last time they played. Like Hawkinson wasn't there. I don't feel like Aaron Donald was playing at his highest capability at that point in time either. The Rams pass defense is one of the worst in the league. I also agree, man. There's a lot of shit going on in LA right now. They already was at a disadvantage at home games because they couldn't sell out. Now they on the road. So you know, Stafford gonna give it up, boy. That's one thing that we know. When the lights get bright, he get a little jittery. You know that. But I do like Kyron Williams though. He's a dog. He gets it done. Outside, as far as that passing, man, I don't trust them enough to put money on anybody on the Rams because I don't know who is going to be. You know, I remember one time I had Puka for 3 point. No, it was like Puka for 4.5 receptions and the Cup for 3.5 receptions. Neither one of them motherfuckers got their receptions, and I that's fucking insane. But I should have been paying attention because I'm like, why is this so low? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh man, it's easy money. Nah, it was funny money. It was funny money. They got me. Um, yeah. I think the I think the Rams get beat up on. It's a lot going on over there. Plus, that's a really, really, really young team. So, yeah, I think it'll probably be a snooze fest, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think this. I think I'm taking the Vikings in this game. I don't know, man. I got a feeling that they can pull this off. I think I like what they've been able to do on the defensive end and the offensive end. They've been playing very complementary. I think the Rams, to me, are dependent on two receivers pretty much being hot as firecrackers. Puka and Cooper. To me, that guy, y'all, you said who you said on your list, Mitt? You said Aaron Jones?
Yeah. won't touch him
Cooper
with a
Cup.
10-foot pole.
Cooper Cup might be on that same list.
I mean, that's only took him for 25 yards, man. I mean, if he can't do 25, then he's on the ban list for
Man,
next
I
year.
took the man for 3 receptions. The man had 0, bruh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I think y'all touched on it. You know, Jordan Addison, he's been waking up in the red zone. Give me Jordan Addison for any time. Give me Jettas anytime. We not touching Aaron Jones no more. Dude is a ticket killer. Rams, give me Cooper. I mean, give me Puka. Receiving yards and receptions. I don't like touching him for touchdowns either. If I'm taking a touchdown, give me DeMarcus Robinson anytime. That boy scoring the red zone.
That is true, though.
Hey, so I just seen a report that they say the Raiders have pretty much made it clear who they want as the head coach, either Ben Johnson or Pete Carroll.
They interviewed Pete Carroll?
Yeah,
I thought the Bears interviewed Pete Carroll.
Yeah, no, I believe they completed an interview with Pete Carroll, and I think Pete Carroll had an interview with another team.
Carroll.
That's an interesting dichotomy that you would either want Pete Carroll or they could be the most opposite guys. One's young and offensive, the other's old and defensive. Interesting.
Well, Ben Johnson is. I guess Ben Johnson is the first JMIK, and Pete Carroll is the plan B.
I mean, my thing with Ben Johnson is it's going to come down to who does he want to coach. Because it seems like whoever he interviews with, he does a good interview. It's pretty much on him where he wants to coach.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, to me, Ben Johnson to the Raiders is kind of, I don't know if that's the right. I think Ben Johnson to the Bears or the Patriots is probably the two for me for Ben. But
it's the funny thing, like nobody's really talking about any candidates like strongly going to the Bears though. They really interviewed everybody, but nobody like theirs is they're keeping their stuff. I mean, like under wraps.
Hey man, maybe they finally learned something. Moving silence. They gotta figure something out, man. They got way too much talent over there, like right now. So they gotta figure something out.
I mean, but the problem is, Keenan Allen about to leave out of there though, so he about to be a free agent.
That's cool.
And if I had to say where he's gonna play, I'd assume he goes back to the Chargers.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You don't think he would stay with? You don't think he would stay with the Bears?
Nah, I don't think so.
It was too up and down for him this year.
I mean, they traded him. They traded for him. And they didn't extend him. So, that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
But and we don't. Who knows? Keenan can end up anywhere. But if I had to put my money on, I probably put my money on the Chargers.
I get it. I do get it though. It's a nice
landing spot. That's for sure.
He go back for the cheap. You know what I mean? Make it.
See, I don't think he would play for as long as he was playing for the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Chargers.
For the cheap. For the cheap.
Oh, okay.
Cheap. No, I don't think he'll go to the Chiefs. I think he'll go back to the Chargers for the cheap, though. Nah, he wanted he seemed like one of the ones. Once I got beef with you, it ain't no me coming to play for each other.
And I actually like players like that though.
Yeah, man. Keep some of the old school.
Real. Yeah. Keep it real.
It says the Bengals are interested in interviewing Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, they need a DC.
For their DC, yeah.
He's not a bad defensive coach though. Like he had the Bears defense playing. I'll give him that. I just don't want him coaching my whole football team. That's all.
But that's the last game. We're gonna talk about the college football next week. We got 10 days before they play. They have another show before we come back around. So just in case people tuned in and was like, it's a CFB. Yeah, I didn't realize it was on the damn 20th that it would be playing.
Yeah, I mean the 20th is a packed day.
What else on the 20th?
I think that's the presidential one and inauguration too, I believe. Something like that. I mean, the Twitter gonna be a cesspool on that day, boy.
Jesus Christ.
Gonna be a cesspool. But I mean, the Twitter's a cesspool anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a regular day. You know what I mean? But that's gonna be an interesting. I'm ready to. I ain't gonna lie. I'm low key pulling for Ohio State to beat them.
I mean, like when it like I don't like Texas, I don't like Penn State, I don't like Notre Dame, I don't like Ohio State. So I mean, I couldn't even probably hate watch because I hate all these teams. So it's like I mean, but I did find enjoyment in Penn State losing the way they lost because everybody swear up and down that like Drew Lawrence is great quarterback. The nigga's ass. He's
Bro,
ass.
he completely ruined that game. I was so upset. I said, "You goofy goblin! You had overtime. No need to press. Why throw it in the triple cover? Just don't make sense." Drew LR, if he declared, did he declare for the draft?
No, I think he might be returning back to Penn State.
After that game on Thursday, I mean, he better be going back to school.
Carson Beck to the Hurricane.
I mean, you should have heard them in their spaces.
I was there.
I mean, they was acting like he's Caleb Williams in college or something, or he was Jaden Dent. I'm like, y'all don't know who that motherfucker is.
They said they can get better production out of Carson Beck than Cam Ward. I said,
nah, I ain't gonna say all that. I mean, maybe Emory, the quarterback they got there now, yeah, he better than him. I'll give you that. I mean, he better than Emory, but he not better than Cam Ward.
They said they can get the same production, if not better, because Carson Beck is better at throwing the ball than Cam Ward. That's what they said. They say.
I actually think Cam Ward has a better arm. Like I think his arm.
Me too.
Better, yeah.
Me too.
I mean,
Mick, I was sitting in those spaces. I was dying from the takes they had. I said, "What?" So Carson Beck just turned into a 5-star elite.
Well, I mean, Carson Beck is a 5-star recruit, though. I mean,
Those stars been dropped. Them stars been dropped a little bit, JMIK.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's a better processor of the field, but if you throwing picks, how good are you processing the field? Like, he don't even see the coverages that he's throwing into. Like, granted, I mean, Georgia, the offensive line wasn't that great, and the wide receivers were ass. I can say that, but I guarantee you, if you was in their spaces about 8 months ago before the season started, they was not talking about Carson Beck like that. They wasn't. But I mean, when it's your guy, then you want to amp your guy up. Okay.
Bro, it's so bad. I mean, I don't know what the Georgia situation was, but it to me, outside looking in, it's like it was such a situation with him that Georgia was like, bro, we'll move on. Just go do your thing. We cool. We cool.
That's pretty. He wanted to stay in. I'm pretty sure Kirby was like, nah, we all set. I mean, that's a bad look that they would want to play a kid that only played one game over you because the team like it was.
I like that go over though.
Yeah, I mean, Gunner not bad though.
Yeah, Gunner, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, he was cool in the SEC championship game. He was cool in that playoff game. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I guess if you prep him for the whole summer and the whole season, I mean, he can give you. I mean, obviously he's not winning the fucking Heisman. He's not going to be on the Heisman watch. He's not that kind of guy. But I mean, he can be good enough to win. So.
Yeah, I like what I see from Gunner a little bit.
But I mean, like Georgia got a young team next year, so I'm not sure what to expect. So.
How you feel about my quarterback, J-Mitt?
Who's your quarterback again?
Thomas Castellano.
Oh, the kid from BC.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good though, man. Like, I think he's really underrated though, to be honest, because I mean, he got a good arm and he can run. I mean, and if the offensive line really isn't like like an A+ line, I mean, he can really help that line out, and he's gonna help your run game. Like, I want to see what kind of offense that y'all gonna run. Like, are y'all gonna run like a read option based offense?
Well, we brought Gus in, so whatever Gus run, that's what we running.
Okay. I mean,
that's how we brought Thomas in because he recruited. Gus recruited him to Boston College.
Because I mean, he's from Florida, right?
Who?
And Castellanos. I thought he was from Florida.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I mean, he going back home. I mean, he's definitely an improvement. I mean, DJ was fucking ass, man. Like I don't.
Oh,
I mean, I mean, some of your fan base was bigging him up in the summertime. I don't know why they was doing that. The kid is ass. So I mean, like, Castellanos is definitely like an upgrade.
Listen, I told y'all, for DJU to be successful, they would have to make the simplest offense possible and keep the ball out of his hand. We couldn't do that shit.
Well, that you have to have like the best. I mean, like the best offensive line in college football. That's another that you need. But yeah, I mean, Castellanos. Like, I'm not a BC fan, but I live in the area, so I've seen some of their games. And I like the kid. So like the good thing about Florida State is like y'all have a lot of talent and skill. Like, y'all tend to have good running backs, good wide receivers, good tight ends. So he's gonna have all the talent that he needs to be successful. He just gotta be, he just gotta, process the field and do what he does.
But this would be his second time in a Gus Malzahn system. So he should, in my opinion, he should at least be comfortable with the offense to some extent.
Yeah.
Should be. Yeah. Never know though. But you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. But that's it, man. That's the slate. 2 games today, 3 games tomorrow, 1 on Monday. Anything y'all got for the people before we get out of here?
Nah, not really, man. Y'all be safe out there. How about it? Yeah.
Enjoy this wild card weekend.
Yeah, tell a friend, tap in with us,
No way it's possible.
Yeah, just I mean, like, subscribe. I mean, like, we appreciate the support. I mean, every week we do the show for y'all. Prayers up to the people on the West Coast, man. That's a rough situation that they're going through right now. So yeah, just just kind of keep them in your prayers, and hopefully they can get that situation under control, man.
Yeah, man. But
we'll see. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, Pop. Prayers for you for real.
Yeah.
Hey man, y'all tap in with us next week, man. If your team get eliminated, still come back, man. We still want all y'all to come back and hang out with us, man. You can come to the comments and you can blame. Matter of fact, if we pick against your team and they lose, just come blame us. We would love the company, man.
And we're not going to slander you like they're going to slander you on Twitter, though. That's the only difference. We just not going to do it over here, man.
But y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Enjoy Wild Card Weekend. See y'all next week.